What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports and you're watching our SEC channel. It's time to preview week 2 and we've got some really intriguing matchups this week in the SEC. We will start with Vanderbilt, Wake Forest, 11 o'clock Eastern time. This will be an early kickoff here on the ACC network. Wake Forest favored by 10 points. Vanderbilt 2-0, Wake Forest 1-0. Vandy's been a little shaky. You know, they didn't look great against Hawaii. Last week played Alabama A&M. Wake Forest started pretty strong last week. Looks like they're going to have that typical Dave Clawson offense. They're going to be able to score points. So I can see why they're favored here for sure. Does Vandy have a shot? Maybe. I think it'll come down to their defense and how well they play there. But it should be a pretty good game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. And we'll see if Vandy can keep it close there. Again, this one's on the ACC network. Ball State at Georgia, noon Eastern time. This one will be on the SEC network. Georgia's favored by 42.5 points. Not a great offensive performance against UT Martin. Definitely slow out of the gates, but now week 2, you got that game under your belt. I think they will play much better here, and of course should get an easy win over Ball State. Kentucky will host Eastern Kentucky at 3 o'clock Eastern time on the SEC network. No spread here because this one obviously is not expected to be competitive at all. Kentucky should have another easy win as they look to get Devin Leary more and more comfortable in this offense. Next up, Texas A&M at Miami, 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. A&M favored by 4.5 points in this game on the road at a good Miami team. I thought both teams looked really good in week 1. I think this should be a really close competitive game. And if Texas A&M can get this win, watch out. The Aggies will have a lot of momentum. They've got Alabama at home coming up. This could be a really good year for Texas A&M if they can get this win. Next, we've got Ole Miss at Tulane, 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Ole Miss favored by 7.5 points. Going on the road here against a good Tulane team, and they look good in week 1. Ole Miss looked good as well against Mercer, but this should be a very competitive game as well. I'm telling you, there's some sneaky good games. Vandy, Wake Forest already, that should be a good one. Miami, Texas A&M, we got Ole Miss and Tulane. Of course, other games, big games in there as well. Mississippi State, Arizona, Auburn, Cal, Alabama, Texas, the big one. So a lot of good games in the SEC this week, but this one maybe not so much. Arkansas hosting Kent State, 4 o'clock Eastern time on the SEC network. Arkansas favored by 37.5 points. Razorbacks will look to get that run game going here in this one. Next, we've got Austin Peay at Tennessee, 5 o'clock Eastern time on the SEC network. And these all say SEC network, but some of them are going to be on the SEC network plus, where you have to watch it on the app. I don't know why they list them all as SEC network, but anyways, Tennessee should win big here. They're playing Austin Peay. Middle Tennessee at Missouri, 7 o'clock Eastern time on the SEC network. Missouri favored by 21. Offense was pretty good, I guess, last week. We'll see if they can get it going a little bit better here in this one, and we'll see what is their score going to look like against Middle Tennessee compared to Alabama's. That'll maybe tell us the gap between the Crimson Tide and the Tigers of Missouri. But at the same time, you can't just look at the score because you have to see how long the starters are in there and all that. But anyways, I think this will be a good gauge of this Missouri team. If they go out and blow them out, I think, watch out, Missouri's going to be good. But if it's a pretty close game, then we know Missouri really is nowhere near that top level in the SEC. Next up, Texas, Alabama, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Game day will be there. Crimson Tide favored by 7. Should be a great game. Texas was a little bit shaky in their first game on offense. We'll see if they settle in game 2. Tough place to play, of course, going on the road to Tuscaloosa. But this should be a great game. Can't wait to watch this one. Next, we've got McNeese State at Florida, 7:30 Eastern time. Gators look to bounce back. They should. And maybe get into a little bit of a rhythm offensively to help them going forward. Next is Furman at South Carolina, 7:30 Eastern time. I don't know much about the FCS, but I believe Furman is a pretty good FCS team, and so this could be an opportunity for South Carolina to get some things fixed on that offensive line and maybe get a little bit of a challenge. We'll see, but Gamecocks should win big here in this one. Next, we've got Grambling State at LSU, 7:30 Eastern time, SEC Network. Tigers should win big, of course, here as they look to bounce back from the devastating loss to Florida State. Just fell apart there in that second half. Arizona, Mississippi State, 7:30 Eastern time on the SEC Network. Mississippi State favored by 9. Watch out for Arizona. This is a good team. And I know the Cowbells will be going. It's a home game for Mississippi State, and that's probably why they're favored by 9. But I think Arizona has a shot. So, again, watch out for this one. Should be a close game, in my opinion. And then we've got Auburn versus Cal, 10:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Auburn favored by 6.5. This is not going to be a guaranteed win for Auburn. I'm telling you, this Cal team is an experienced, deep team. Jaden Ott, one of the better running backs in all of college football. And Auburn's going to have a hard time stopping him. I think this will probably turn into a shootout. Both offenses should score, and could come down to who has the ball last. I really think it could be that type of game. And so Auburn going all the way to the West Coast, playing at 10:30 Eastern time. That is a tougher game that I think people are thinking. So that's the games for week 2. We will see how it plays out. A lot of big games, non-conference games in the SEC this week. We'll see how the conference does. I'll give you my predictions tomorrow. And give me your thoughts on week 2 down in the comments below.